Hey everybody, this is Nikki Myers, Mrs. Colorado 2014, and today I have Bethany Norman with me. She is one of our Mrs. Colorado contestants coming up in the 2020 pageant on July 11th in Denver at the Ellie Hawkins Opera House. So I'm going to hand it over to Bethany, let her introduce herself, and then give us a good 30-second about you, if you wouldn't mind.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bethany Norman, and I'm Mrs. Fort Collins. I am married, have been married to my husband, Matt, for 10 years next month. Hopefully we can celebrate. We have a young son named Jace. He's 6 years old, and a fur baby named Roscoe. We have been in Colorado for a little over a year and a half now, and are both establishing businesses within the community and are looking forward to having this as our forever home.
Awesome. Yeah, I was a transplant too when I started the pageant, so I do always relate. I think a lot of people are transplants in Colorado anyway, but it is always fun to meet those gals who aren't from there, but really do want to dive into their community. And like you said, you're opening a business, and there's no better way to meet people in Colorado than to join the pageant, right? I know you've got
for 1,000%. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, you were new to Colorado. What motivated you to jump into the pageant?
So just like you said, when you are transplant somewhere, pageantry is a great way to just dig in and get started. Pageantry has been a part of my life for about 15 years on and off. And I know, coming from the Sunshine State and being in the middle of winter, I could be a recluse. And so I was like, okay, honey, I'm going to do this pageant. And he's like, okay, whatever you need to do, I'll support you. And so I joined it, and it was the best decision ever. I mean, hands down. I don't think I've ever had a pageant experience like the one last year.
Awesome. So glad to hear that. And then so you're now my third interviewee who has returned for a next year or more. So tell me a little bit about, the preparation process, and then kind of what made you come back. How do you prepare for that? And then, how do you prepare for a second year, maybe if you didn't win that, and then this is that first year?
There's definitely a few reasons. At first I wasn't sure, because I walked away and I felt like I had a great experience, and I was like, okay, maybe this is our year to just establish our business, not knowing at the time that I would be opening up a business. And a few months went by, and I was like, why wouldn't I go back? It was such a blessing in my life at that being new, that how much more could I get out of it coming back, and having, experienced it once, and doing it now, knowing women, having planted these friendships and having them grown, coming back and doing it together. There was no question I had to keep moving forward. And one of the goals that Matt and I have is to really establish ourselves as a couple within our community. And pageantry for me and this season is that's what helps me dig deep and keep moving forward. And for now, it's a part of my life, and I hope it is to an extent for the rest of my life, but competing may not always be there. So, I had to give it one more go at least.
Absolutely. And one of the things a couple of us have already talked about too is just, like you said, you planted those friendships. And the nice thing is that every year you come back, there's new girls. It's not always the same. So you get even more friendships, every year. So,
I mean, as moms and wives and different things like that, gets harder and harder to meet women who have the same goals and desire to better their lives. And so pageantry is definitely that arena and platform to allow you to keep growing those friendships. And these are friendships that are not just, for seasons, they'll stay for the rest of your life.
Absolutely. So if this was your year to wear the crown, tell me a little bit about what you want that year to look like.
So, like I said, I've competed in years past, and I've grown in my why. And this year moving forward, if I am given that honor, because I believe it is an honor, it would not be about me. It would be about the women that are in this sisterhood and being an extension of them. And like I said, I've had some amazing friendships that have grown out of this last year, and my heart is to cheer them on. My heart is to show the state, the unity that can be found in pageantry, especially this pageant, not just any pageant, this pageant in particular, and showing that to the state of Colorado, and hopefully being able to do appearances for different causes that they love as well, and just being an extension of them. I think that would be my hope. And so just making my rounds around Colorado, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And again, a good way to learn your state, because we tend to live in
Yeah.
a little bubble, and to get out
Yes.
there and explore, because it is a beautiful and big state.
It's stunning.
Um, you know, and I think one of the really important things you keep bringing up, and that people may not know if they haven't experienced it, but Emily Stark, our director, runs a very special pageant. Like, it makes me emotional, to the point that, like, I fly my mother-in-law out to Colorado to watch my kids so that I can still be a part of the pageant. Like, people think I'm just Emily's assistant, and I am, and I love helping Emily, but I can't walk away. I mean, I've already won the title, which is amazing. But when I was done, I was like, so what else do I get to do? Like,
Yeah.
I want to hang out with these women because they're
Yeah.
so amazing. And that's something for me that I love meeting all of y'all every year. And it really is, Emily does such a great job of making it almost more of a women's retreat than a
Absolutely.
pageant.
Where
Yeah.
you walk away with bags under your eyes when you're supposed to be competing on stage.
There's always tears, but they're always good ones.
They're
And,
always
you know,
good.
we're always, I feel like that week you walk away, you know, growing just a little bit, even if it, you know, even if you weren't expecting it, you
For
will,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
Tell me about somebody that you admire and why.
So I come from a really long line of strong women. So I'd have to say my mother. She raised my sister and I as a single parent. She overcame domestic violence, drug and alcohol abuse. She was able to climb to the top of her field without ever graduating college. So whenever I think something's difficult, I think about the adversity that she had to overcome to raise my sister and and I think my sister and I turned out great. We're both thriving entrepreneurs. I have a family. My sister's a world traveler, and I do my very best when when you don't see the hope in a situation, to remember where I came from, because she instilled in me the drive to work hard and persevere, and that you are strong enough to overcome anything.
Absolutely. And I would agree with you that I think you turned out fabulously. I don't know your sister, but you have a special place in my heart.
Thank you.
So you said that last year was your first year, right? And so this would be your second year. Besides the crown, what are you hoping to gain this year? I know last year was kind of getting to know the people and your community, but
Right.
this year, what are you working towards?
Definitely just to make a name for my family and I. You know, Matt has traveled for most of our marriage, and so we would see each other like every other weekend for like several years. And we moved to Colorado so we wouldn't have to do that. And now it's about living and doing life together like it's supposed to be. And so I really want to take advantage of planting myself in places of opportunity where I normally wouldn't get if I didn't compete in a pageant. And so this isn't just an endeavor for me, but for my family as well.
Tell me a little bit about, I mean, I know a little bit about it, but I want to hear more about this small business that you've started up in Fort Collins.
Yes. So in January, I opened up No Cook Glow. It is a spray tan studio, and my background is not in spray tanning, but being in the pageant world, I've been around it, and that's the only time I get spray tanned. But I have been wanting to open up a business for a while, and I've tried a bunch of network marketing things, and it just never was right for me, even though it works for other people. And I love that because some of my best sponsors are network marketers. But all of a sudden, this idea popped in my head, and I was like, Matt, spray tan studio. And he was like, okay, let's do it. And literally, so my office right now is in the dining room because we moved out the office, and he laid floors within a week. I started taking training courses. Like, I have my esthetician license, but which you don't need that for here, but I love that I have it because I get to be like geeky and learn the science behind spray tanning. So it opened in January, and then it took a sabbatical until this virus is over. But I've been learning a lot about the industry. And I think it was a way for me to, by stepping back, a way for me to dig deeper and where I want to go in my business. So I'm taking advantage of the opportunity to kind of learn more.
That's awesome. All right. Well, we have one question left, and then I'll let you
Okay.
get back to diving back into that business. But just anything, any story, any fun fact we should know about you before we say
Oh
goodbye?
gosh. Um, Fun fact. I was a puppeteer I started as a 13-year-old by accident. My sister and my family, my mom, my sister, and I started a new church, and there wasn't really a program for our age group, kind of like that middle schooler age. There was like the young kids and then like the high schoolers. And they didn't really have a strong children's program. So the children's pastor at the time was like, hey, you guys want to help me? And we're like, sure. Well, like for the next 5 years, my sister and I were involved in puppetry where we traveled across the United States. We also got the opportunity to travel to Europe and Scotland. And I was 17 at the time. And if I could go back, I would, hold on to that memory a little bit more, and the experience. But just, I mean, you don't meet many puppeteers, but it was such an incredible experience to be able to start and grow a program and just be a part of something different.
Awesome. Well, Bethany, it was lovely chatting with you, and
Yes,
I can't
thank
wait to
you.
see you on that stage this year. Hopefully
Yes,
soon. I don't know what's happening with the
yes, crossing my fingers.
Thank you for your time, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks, Nikki.
Bye.